So we're all familiar with the 3 gaits of walk, trot, and canter, but is there a 4th gait? And could this 4th gait reveal the true strength and connection between you and your horse? So the counter canter is the ultimate test of balance, strength, and rider precision. And trust me, this is not about perfection on your first try. But struggling through this test isn't failure. It is proof that you are on the path to building the skills and partnership to excel in the toughest riding challenges and situations. So let's dive in. So imagine if you could identify where you and your horse are struggling with your partnership or with your riding without having to go to a competition or take a lesson. Because instead of guessing what's holding you back, I have 10 simple at-home, on-your-own tests that's going to give you clear and actionable insights into what you're currently struggling with. The best part is that these tests don't just improve your skills. They help forge a deeper connection with you and your horse for more successful rides, especially when you're under the high pressure of competition. So let's dive in. Hey guys, so welcome back to Team Fuego for 10 horse riding improvement tests for better skills and a stronger horse-rider connection. So in this series, we are going to explore 10 simple yet really powerful at-home tests.
Bring it on!
Designed for you to do them on your own, but to improve not only the essential skills for riding, but deepen your connection with your horse. So these tests aren't just about technique, they're about understanding what you and your horse truly need to strengthen for your partnership to prosper.
Like a both.
Whether you're preparing for your next show or just looking to build more trust and balance in your everyday riding, these exercises are going to help get you there, but more importantly, point out where you guys need to focus. So let's saddle up and start creating some better results and a stronger bond.
This is going to be epic.
So I alluded to calling the counter canter the 4th gait, and the reason is because I think that people don't add in the counter canter soon enough. Now, the reality is that's because it takes exceptional horse balance and strength to hold the counter canter, especially around turns and especially around tight turns. And in addition, the rider actually has to have very precise body awareness and precision in the saddle to help the horse hold the counter canter if they are not naturally strong enough to hold it themselves. So a little context here. I have been riding for a very long time, and my older competitive horse, he does the upper levels, and there's counter canter in every single test that we do. However, I have a lot of young horses as well, and I have learned that the sooner you add in the counter canter, depending on where you are in your riding journey and your experience level, this is going to look a little different for everybody. But for me, with training young horses, I have found that the earlier you can add the counter canter in and get them working and developing those muscles to basically be ambidextrous when it comes to cantering both directions, the sooner that you can make them as comfortable as possible, not only in, true canter. When a horse is learning how to jump, normally it is just some utter chaos going on because they just are throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. And so if your horse is really comfortable in the counter canter, then no matter what lead your horse lands on, they're going to have to turn, right? And so by making them more able to be comfortable in the counter canter, you're going to create better landing circumstances, especially when you accidentally land on the wrong lead. Then something has to happen. You either have to do a trot change, you have to, you do a flying lead change, like something's got to happen. Otherwise, you're going to turn in the counter canter. Now, here's where this test is super beneficial. If you're able to hold the counter canter when you're doing your flat work, then you're going to be able to just do the turn in the counter canter and you could trot change at your earliest convenience. If you're not able to hold the counter canter around turns, then you're going to have to do a trot change a lot faster. Otherwise, it's going to be a chaotic turn. But the reality is that the sooner you're able to add in the counter canter and test your horses and your ability at the counter canter, then the sooner your horse is going to be strong enough to do all the demands of, cantering both directions on both leads, jumping and switching leads and turning. It's just an excellent tool for expanding your horse's ability. But the key to this as a rider test when you're working on it. Now, this is something that all of these tests are designed for you to be able to do them on your own, right? However, this one, say you fail at this one, then maybe you bring it up in your next lesson. You say, hey, I was trying to do the counter canter and it wasn't really working. So your trainer is going to be able to tell you how to fix your position to help the horse hold the counter canter, because there is an actual mechanism, the same way that when you canter true, you're going to go inside leg on, outside leg back, right? And you put your inside seat bone down. That tells the horse to carry through with the hind leg, and then you're off to the canter in the true bend. Now, the same but opposite way for the counter canter, but the problem is if your horse is not able or not strong enough to hold the counter canter, it's going to take more from you and more balance from you to be able to hold the counter canter. This is an at-home test for a reason, because this is going to tell you so much. It's going to tell you a lot about your riding position. It's going to tell you a lot about your horse's strength, and it's going to tell you a lot about your horse's connection, and also which direction they find easier. Because whenever you're riding a horse, there's a direction that's easier for them and there's a direction that's harder for them. However, when you're doing the counter canter, the rules somewhat go out the window, because you're essentially adding more data points to that exact question of which direction is actually harder. Now, like I said, it's just not a one size fits all. So you're going to have to tell me what you found from doing this test. But I will say that if you're able to do the counter canter comfortably for, say, even just a big loop around the whole arena, you don't have to hold it on the wall. You don't have to do like a half 10-meter circle. Like, you just have to be able to hold the counter canter around the whole entire arena for one full circle. And that's you passing the test. Now, if you get done with your circle and you're like, oh my God, that was so hard, because that's what it's like riding my 5-year-old doing it, you have room to improve, right? Room to work on. But, like riding my upper level horse that's really good at this, then, he's going to pass the test with flying colors in his sleep with one hand tied behind his back. So there's levels to this, right? Now, like I said, in all of these tests, if you fail the test for the first time for whatever reason, or if you are, you can't even do it at this point in time, that is totally fine. These tests are designed to just show you simply where you are to where you want to get to. So this test is definitely going to show you how much of a connection you and your horse currently have. Right. So that's all for this test of the 10 horse riding improvement tests for better skills and a stronger horse rider connection. Remember, each of these tests is a stepping stone to developing a better horse rider connection, but more importantly, for you to become a better rider no matter what horse you're riding. Because better communication with your horse and clearer communication is going to improve the results no matter what. As with anything, the more you practice, the better you get. But with horses, it's tricky because you only have a capped number of hours that you can work with a horse every day, every week, every month. They are not motorcycles or machines.
I know you know this on a deep subconscious level.
You have to make incremental progress and know what the little things you can do, how that translates to the big steps you can take later. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with one of your equestrian friends, because these tests apply to all types of riding. As always, happy riding, and I'll see you on the next test.